France, a land of romance, revolution, and remarkable resilience. Through wars, sieges, and winters that starved entire villages, the French mastered a quiet art, the art of survival through flavor. In stone kitchens and hidden cellars, they learned to turn perishables into treasures that could outlast empires. Duck sealed in its own fat, mushrooms dried like forest gold, and salt drawn from the sea itself. These foods weren't just meant to feed, they were meant to endure. Each one tells a story of necessity turned into luxury, of hardship preserved in glass and tin. So what are the 20 timeless foods the French still stockpile today? Let's begin with the one born from survival itself. Imagine a storm battering the Pyrenees in the 1600s, wind howling, larders bare, and a farmer staring at his last duck. In an age before refrigeration, survival meant invention. So he cooked the duck low and slow in its own golden fat, then sealed it away in earthen jars. Weeks passed, months. When he finally unearthed it, the meat was tender, rich, and miraculously preserved. This was the birth of confit de canard, the duck that defied time. Its secret lies in the fat, nature's airtight armor. By eliminating air and sealing flavor within, the French discovered a way to preserve not just food, but comfort itself. For centuries, families across Gascony and Dordogne stockpiled confit for harsh winters and wartime scarcity. Today it graces Michelin-starred menus, its crisp skin and melting texture celebrated as a culinary relic of resilience. One bite whispers of smoke, salt, and centuries of ingenuity. It's more than meat. It's memory made edible. A reminder that France's greatest delicacies were born from hunger, not luxury. But if duck could endure the ages, what about the treasures found deep in the forest floor? Next, the French secret of mushrooms that never die. Deep in the forests of southwest France, mist curls around the roots of ancient oaks. Beneath the fallen leaves, something precious waits. Cepis, the wild porcini mushrooms prized for their earthy perfume and meaty bite. But the real magic happens after the harvest. Centuries ago, French foragers learned a secret from the land itself. Sunlight could turn fragility into permanence. They sliced the mushrooms thin, spread them on linen, and let the autumn air whisper them dry. Water, the thief of time, was gone, and what remained was flavor intensified, immortality achieved. Dried porcini became the forest's gold. In the age of famine and blockade, a handful could turn boiled grain into a feast. Even soldiers carried them, lightweight, fragrant tokens of home. Today, chefs still reawaken these slumbering treasures in warm water, their aroma filling kitchens with memories of moss, rain, and smoke. To taste them is to taste patience itself, a flavor both ancient and alive. The French didn't just preserve mushrooms, they captured the forest in a jar. And somewhere between the cellar and the table, another secret of endurance was being cured to perfection. A single slice, ruby red and marbled with white, tells a story older than the Republic itself. Saucisson sec, France's beloved dry-cured sausage, was born not in luxury, but in necessity. Before refrigeration, farmers faced a problem: how to make meat last through endless winters. Their answer: salt, air, and time. In the cool, stone cellars of Lyon and Auvergne, pork was seasoned with garlic, wine, and spice, then hung to dry like sacred relics. Slowly, the moisture vanished, and what remained was pure concentration, savory, tangy, immortal. The outer bloom of mold wasn't rot, but protection, nature's invisible shield preserving flavor and life. Generations later, saucisson sec remains a French obsession. It's found in every picnic basket, every cafe platter, every memory of home. One bite, and you taste centuries of patience, the hum of cellars, the chill of mountain air, the quiet pride of craftsmanship. It's proof that the simplest things, when made with time and trust, can endure forever. And beyond the farmhouses, behind heavy wooden doors, another delicacy waited, one born of the countryside and sealed with history. It begins with a sound, the scrape of metal on clay, the slow lift of a lid. Inside, a rustic treasure rests, terrine de campagne, the countryside pâté, Long before Parisian cafes made it elegant, it was a farmer's secret weapon against hunger. During hard winters, rural families blended what they had: pork, liver, herbs, and a touch of brandy, pressing it into earthenware and baking it low and slow. Once cooled, a layer of fat sealed it from air, locking in life and flavor for months. What emerged wasn't just preserved meat. It was survival disguised as comfort. The taste is humble yet haunting. Coarse texture, whispers of time, a memory of hearth and smoke. Served with bread and pickles, it reminds the French that luxury often starts in hardship. Even now, you'll find it on wooden boards in bistros and homes alike, not because it's fancy, but because it's honest. It's the flavor of the land, the echo of resilience wrapped in fat and faith. But just when you think the countryside has revealed all its secrets, another jar begins to glisten, one rich, slow, and impossibly smooth. If time could melt, it would taste like rillettes. In the Loire Valley centuries ago, butchers sought to make pork last through seasons of scarcity. Their answer wasn't haste, it was surrender to time. Chunks of meat were salted, simmered gently for hours, until the fibers gave way and the fat turned silky as cream. Packed into earthen pots and sealed beneath a golden layer, rillettes could last for months, sometimes longer. It wasn't just preservation, it was transformation. When spread on warm bread, it whispers stories of rural kitchens and crackling fires. The flavor is deep, slow, eternal, a reminder that patience rewards those who wait. For the French, rillettes became more than food. It became ritual, a jar shared, a bond renewed. You don't rush rillettes, you honor it. Even today, it sits on pantry shelves and picnic blankets, unchanged by centuries, untouched by time. It's proof that some pleasures are meant to linger, and somewhere, sealed within tin and tradition, another French delicacy waits, one that turns indulgence into immortality. It begins in silence, a cellar, dimly lit, rows of golden tins gleaming like buried treasure. Inside lies foie gras, France's most decadent paradox, a luxury born from preservation. Centuries ago, during the reign of Louis XIV, rural families discovered that duck liver, gently poached and submerged in its own fat, could endure long journeys, even wars. When sealed in glass or tin, it defied time itself. The secret: fat, pressure, and patience. Once sealed, no air could touch it, no decay could enter. The result: a buttery richness that melts on the tongue, a taste both ancient and divine. To the French, foie gras is more than indulgence. It's identity, a celebration of craftsmanship and control over nature's limits. From royal banquets to family tables, it stands as proof that the art of preservation can also be the art of pleasure. And as the last bite lingers, velvet, savory, endless, you can almost hear another sound rising from the south: the quiet simmer of beans and meat, slow-cooked through the centuries. Steam rises from a rustic pot in Toulouse, thick, aromatic, alive with memory. Cassoulet, the dish of peasants turned national legend, wasn't meant for luxury. It was born from siege and survival. When invaders came, villagers gathered what they had: beans, sausage, duck confit, and cooked it all in one heavy pot. Centuries later, the French discovered that even this humble miracle could live forever. Canned cassoulet became a wartime hero, a ready feast sealed against hunger. The beans softened, the meat steeped in its own essence, flavor deepened with every day it waited. Inside those tins, time stood still. Even now, a single can feed a family and awaken centuries of comfort. It's not fast food, it's forever food, a taste of patience, of tradition that refuses to vanish. But while cassoulet embodies endurance through warmth, another treasure waits in cool stone kitchens, a humble loaf of meat that carries the soul of the French countryside. Somewhere in the heart of rural France, a farmer lifts a wooden lid, revealing a dish humble in appearance, royal in heritage. Pâté de campagne, or country pâté, began as a clever way to save every part of the animal. Liver, herbs, wine, and spice pressed into a mold, then baked, cooled, and sealed beneath fat. It wasn't extravagance, it was preservation disguised as flavor. In an age when nothing was wasted, this hearty loaf became the pride of farm tables and traveling soldiers alike. Each slice told of thrift, care, and quiet mastery. Today, it graces fine bistros as a delicacy, proof that survival can become sophistication. Spread on bread, it releases a scent of garlic, pepper, and earth, the perfume of history itself. It's a food that doesn't shout, it endures. And somewhere, deep in mountain caves, another treasure matures in silence, a masterpiece shaped not by flame, but by time. In the Jura Mountains, the air is cool, sharp, and heavy with the scent of hay. Here, Comte cheese sleeps, massive wheels aging in dim stone cellars, tended like sacred relics. Each wheel begins as milk gathered from alpine cows that graze on wildflowers, but it's what happens next that defies time. Months, sometimes years, of waiting. The rind hardens, the texture deepens, and the flavor transforms into something nutty, caramel-like, eternal. Salt, bacteria, and patience do what no modern machine can. They let nature preserve itself. During wars, families hid their cheeses in caves, sustenance for months when the world above froze. Even now, Comte stands as a symbol of endurance, nourishment that improves with age. It's not just food, it's philosophy. Proof that waiting is an art form. Crack open a wheel, and the aroma fills the room. Roasted hazelnuts, warm milk, a hint of the mountain wind. Each slice carries time itself, layered and living. And just when you think the French have reached the limit of preservation, another jar gleams in the pantry. One that burns, stings, and awakens every taste it touches. A single spoonful. Sharp, golden, electric. Moutarde de Dijon isn't just a condiment. It's chemistry perfected by centuries. Born in Burgundy in the 14th century, it began when monks mixed crushed mustard seeds with verjuice, the sour juice of unripe grapes, instead of vinegar. The result was smooth, fiery, and nearly immortal. As France faced plagues, wars, and famines, mustard endured. It needed no cold, no flame, no miracle, only balance. Its acidity guarded it from decay, allowing each jar to survive years untouched, while the flavor grew sharper, more complex. In royal kitchens, it graced roasted meats. In peasant homes, it turned stale bread into something worthy of wine. By the 18th century, Dijon had become synonymous with excellence, a city where flavor met science. Even Napoleon demanded it for his troops, calling it discipline for the tongue. Today, that same recipe endures, bottled perfection that never fades. Twist the lid and history greets you, tangy, alive, eternal. It's the taste of precision, pride, and the French genius for turning the ordinary into the everlasting. And as its fire fades, something gentler waits, born of sunlight, salt, and wind. In the golden light of southern France, olive trees stand like ancient sentinels, their silver leaves whispering in the wind. From these gnarled trunks come the jewels of Provence, small, dark, and bursting with sun-soaked life. Long before refrigeration, villagers discovered that these fruits, when cured in brine, could last not days or weeks, but years. Salt, oil, and time, three guardians of immortality. The secret of their endurance lies in transformation. Bitterness gives way to depth, rawness to perfume. As they rest in clay jars or glass bottles, they don't decay, they evolve, their flavor deepening with each passing season. To open a jar is to release summer in the dead of winter, sunlight trapped in salt. Provence olives became both food and philosophy, proof that patience creates beauty. Even today, markets overflow with green and black varieties, marinated with herbs, garlic, or orange peel, each bite carrying the taste of the Mediterranean wind. And yet, the French didn't stop at preservation. From these same olives, they created something darker, richer, a secret born from hunger and invention, now spread across the world in glossy perfection. In a seaside kitchen in Marseille, a mortar strikes rhythmically, the sound of centuries blending into one dark, fragrant paste. Tapenade was born from necessity, not luxury. Sailors and farmers once combined the things that lasted: olives, capers, anchovies, and oil. Flavors as bold as the Mediterranean sun. Crushed together, they created a spread that could outlive voyages and storms alike. Its secret lies in salt and oil, the eternal partners of preservation. Every ingredient resists decay. Every stroke of the pestle binds them into a harmony that never spoils. In each jar rests a paradox, a food alive with flavor, yet untouched by time. For the French, tapenade became more than sustenance. It was the taste of the coast, the tang of salt air, the hum of cicadas, the promise of endless summers. Spread on bread or stirred into stews, it transforms the simplest meal into something ancient and unforgettable. Even now, chefs guard their variations, green or black olives, lemon or garlic, always alive with the rhythm of Provence. And as the last note of brine and sun fades on the tongue, something sharper, smaller, and perfectly French waits to awaken the senses. They gleam like emerald bullets in their jars, tiny, fierce, and unapologetically French. Cornichons are the guardians of flavor, the tangy spark that has accompanied French charcuterie for centuries. But their origin is humbler. In medieval kitchens, where every cucumber was too precious to waste, vinegar became the savior. When cucumbers were submerged in brine with vinegar, tarragon, and mustard seed, time itself seemed to halt. What emerged weeks later was transformation, crisp, tart, eternal. The acidity preserves, the salt fortifies, and together they create something sharper than memory itself. No French table is complete without them. They cut through the richness of pâté, the silk of foie gras, the smoke of ham. Each crunch is balance, life and preservation in one bite. Beyond their flavor, cornichons are philosophy in a jar, the belief that nothing should be lost, and even the smallest things deserve immortality. And as that bite fades, you can almost smell it. The green gold of France, waiting to pour its sunlight into every dish. There is sunlight in every drop. In Provence, olive oil is not merely pressed, it's born. From the first crush of green fruit to the slow, golden flow beneath stone mills, Huile d'olive française carries the scent of summer, time, and wind. For thousands of years, it has been France's liquid treasure, food, medicine, and preservative all at once. Ancient families guarded their presses, knowing that oil could outlast seasons, even lifetimes. Its secret? Nature's perfect chemistry. No water, no decay, only purity and protection. Once sealed in dark glass, olive oil can remain vibrant for years, its flavor mellowing like memory. Through famine and war, it kept vegetables supple, meat preserved, and bread alive. It was light when candles failed, warmth when fires dimmed. Even today, each drop drizzled on bread is a continuation of that history. Smooth, golden resilience. It is the taste of continuity, the soul of the Mediterranean bottled in silence. But as the sun's gift fades, another liquid, sharp, amber, and alive, carries its own kind of preservation magic. In Normandy's misty orchards, apples fall like rain, bright, fragrant, fleeting. But the French, ever guardians of flavor, found a way to make them eternal. Vinaigre de cidre français, or French cider vinegar, was born from accident and patience. Barrels of cider left too long in the cellar transformed. Sweet turned sharp, perishable turned pure. Inside those oak barrels, unseen alchemy unfolds. Natural bacteria breathe life into liquid, stripping it of sugar and granting it immortality. Vinegar never spoils. It grows wiser, more complex. Once bottled, it becomes a living memory of the harvest, tangy with the scent of autumn. For centuries, it seasoned everything from sauces to preserves, even served as medicine for weary travelers and soldiers. Its sharp kiss awakened stews, cured vegetables, and refreshed the weary palate. Today, cider vinegar remains a quiet staple in every French pantry, humble yet eternal, a liquid that both cleanses and nourishes. And as its tang lingers, something sweeter awaits, proof that even fruit can conquer time. In the quiet glow of a French kitchen, a copper pot bubbles with alchemy. Strawberries, apricots, blackcurrants, fruits too ripe to last, surrender to heat and sugar, becoming something eternal. Confiture de fruits was born in the Middle Ages when sugar was precious, a luxury turned into survival. Housewives learned that sweetness, when concentrated, could outwit time itself. The secret lies in balance. The fruit's acid meets sugar's strength, and together they seal life within a jar. When the lid cools, air is banished, and the seasons are preserved. On a dark winter morning, one spoonful brings back the scent of summer fields and bees humming above lavender rows. To the French, jam is not just spread, it's nostalgia, a soft memory on warm bread. Grandmothers still stir it slowly, testing it with the back of a spoon, smiling when it sets like amber. It's proof that the French don't freeze time. They sweeten it. And as that last taste of summer fades, the air begins to change, fragrant, herbal, and alive, with the scent of the southern hills. The wind in Provence carries more than warmth. It carries fragrance. Rosemary, thyme, savory, and oregano grow wild among the rocks, thriving where little else can. Centuries ago, farmers learned to gather and dry these herbs, blending them into a potion of permanence, herbs de Provence. The secret of its endurance is nature itself. Dried at the height of summer, each leaf locks in the memory of sunlight. No moisture, no decay, just aroma waiting to awaken. Stored in jars, these herbs keep for years, their scent ready to transform even the simplest meal into something timeless. In old kitchens, a pinch of this blend was like magic, turning stew into landscape, soup into song. It's not just flavor, it's geography. Each mix tells of lavender fields, olive groves, and the hum of cicadas in the heat. Today, herbs de Provence is a symbol of rustic France, elegance drawn from the earth, preserved for eternity. And as those herbs release their final whisper of summer, something sweeter and softer rises from the ovens, a small, golden shell that hides a story of memory and love. Golden, shell-shaped, and light as a sigh, madeleines are more than pastries, they're fragments of nostalgia. In 18th century Lorraine, a young maid named Madeleine is said to have baked them for an impatient duke using the only mold she had, a seashell. The result was a miracle of butter, sugar, and air, a dessert that would outlive empires. Their secret lies in simplicity. Once baked and cooled, they keep for weeks, their delicate crumb protected by sugar and fat, nature's soft preservatives. In wartime pantries, they were comfort. In peacetime cafes, memory. Each bite whispers of lemon, vanilla, and childhood mornings by the fire. But madeleines aren't just confections. They're literature, immortalized by Marcel Proust, who found entire worlds hidden in their taste. They endure not only because they last, but because they remind. To open a tin of madeleines is to open time itself, tender, fragrant, eternal. And as that buttery sweetness fades, the French turn from flour to fire, crafting something harder, brighter, and born from sunlight itself. Under the southern sun of Montélimar, almonds glisten and honey thickens to gold. Here, nougat was born, a confection that refuses to die. It began as a traveler's food, meant to last through journeys across deserts and wars. Sugar, honey, and egg whites, humble ingredients turned into immortality. The secret of its endurance is chemistry and devotion. Boiled honey binds roasted nuts into a firm, glossy block that shrugs off time and moisture alike. Each bite holds the perfume of Provence, lavender honey, toasted almonds, a hint of vanilla air. In the 17th century, nougat was a symbol of wealth and welcome. To offer it was to share sweetness that never faded. Today it remains one of France's most enduring gifts, unchanged in its recipe, eternal in its allure. Break a piece, and it resists before surrendering to the warmth of your mouth, soft, sweet, everlasting. And when the sweetness fades, only one taste remains, pure, ancient, and drawn from the sea itself. Along the windswept coast of Brittany, sunlight shimmers on shallow ponds where sea and sky meet. Here, sel de Guérande is born, not mined, but harvested by hand. For over 1,000 years, paladiers have coaxed salt from ocean water, using nothing but wind, clay, and patience. When the tide retreats, the sun takes over, evaporating the sea drop by drop until crystals appear, gray, damp, alive. Unlike refined salt, this one is unwashed, preserving trace minerals and the spirit of the Atlantic itself. It never expires because it was never alive to begin with. It is the sea, captured and stilled. In medieval France, salt was worth its weight in gold, traded, taxed, and fought over. In Guérande, it became purity itself, the essence of preservation, the foundation of every feast. Today, chefs prize it for its delicate crunch and oceanic depth, proof that simplicity is eternal. One taste, and you understand. This isn't seasoning, it's survival. Every jar, every grain, every taste, proof that time can be tamed. The French didn't just preserve food, they preserved life itself, one recipe at a time. But the story of timeless flavors isn't over yet. Stay curious, because what comes next might just outlast them all.